everybody, it's Casey Williams. The world has not been particularly kind to Infiniti, and it's not because it doesn't make great vehicles. It absolutely does. And when you talk about full-size luxury SUVs, your mind does tend to go to Cadillac, Lincoln, Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus, and even Range Rover on the top end of that. But the vehicle we have this week might make you rethink that decision. The 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph Edition. Let's go have a look at it. The basic architecture of the QX80 is shared with the global Nissan Patrol, and of course the Nissan Armada here in the United States. But you'd be hard-pressed to tell that by looking at it. I like Infiniti's style. It's unique, it's different, but it works for them. And it really goes back to the original Q45 back in 1990. They've really embraced, Japanese nature and water and trees and grass and all that stuff. But it does show up in their design, and I like it. The grille, it's a big bull grille, but you kind of see this waviness in it and a little bit of a natural look to it too. But again, if this big grille gets in your rearview mirror, you might move out of its way. But it's really harmonious the way it works together, like the driving lamps above, headlamps here, and the lower fascia. And again, looks very high-tech and very modern, but it works for them, and it's very, very consistent with Infiniti. The side, this is the Autograph Edition, so it's the upscale version of it. And you start seeing some of the black trim, the black roof, 22-inch black wheels. One thing I do like, this is, of course, the door handles are flush until they come to. A lot of SUVs in this class, they've got the power-operated running boards. They're cool. Sometimes they don't work so well. Sometimes they break after a few years. I'm fine if it's just a regular running board. And I think it looks good, it's well integrated, and it's not going to cause you any trouble. The Autograph logo here on the back. I also like the windows, how they kind of come together. Again, Nissan Infiniti, just kind of part of their trademark and design. Come around back. I think it looks really expensive. I think it looks very upscale. Tail lamps coming all the way across. Four-wheel drive here, again, kind of a Japanese badge. So moving inside, pretty easy. Power hatch. And with the third row up, as is typical in a lot of these SUVs, unless you go get like a Chevy Suburban, there's really not a lot of space back here. A couple duffel bags, that's about it. But honestly, most people are traveling with a couple kids in the middle row and not really the back seat full. So if you want to deploy it, this is what I think is really cool. So there's an array of buttons over here. So power down, button for each side, split fold. And I like that it's one touch. A lot of these you have to stand there and hold it. This one you hit it once. And not only does the third row go down power, but so does the middle row. So if you're in the back, you're trying to load, you're at IKEA, you're at the home store somewhere else, you can put all these seats down in minutes, load up your stuff, and be on your way. Well, you might be starting to see a trend. If you have money, you don't have to push things. So there's a button for everything inside of this vehicle. So the middle seat, you want to get in the back. There's a button on the back of the seat. Moves it forward, raises it out of your way. It's a bit overdone, but it's nice and easy. So let's check out the third row seat. Is it going to crunch me? Am I going to be all right? Let's find out. So if we're being honest, it's really for kids back here, but as a grown adult, I would climb back here to go to dinner, drive across town. Probably not driving several hours back here, but it's not terrible. Well, moving one row up, things get considerably more comfortable. Lots of leg room. I would ride in this seat all the way across the country without any questions. These seats, they're heated, they're ventilated, they massage. You have the panoramic sunroof up above when this is open, so you get lots of light back here, but a very comfortable place to be. There is a screen here in the center if you can't reach this far to adjust the climate control, but I'll also have your own automatic climate controls for the rear seat. You've got USBs here, another power port in the console, nice deep cup holders, lots of storage here as well. So again, everything you need for convenience and luxury out on the road. Well, I could sit in the middle row seats all the way across the country, but I think I would rather be up here driving. I do like what Infiniti has done. Again, they've found a style that works for them, keeps them consistent with their competitors, but does it in a unique Infiniti kind of way. And just, to me, it feels very Japanese, and I think that's kind of nice too. So this is the Autograph Edition. You've got all the luxury features on it, the best materials. You start feeling around, you got a suede headliner, the nicest leather seats, heated, ventilated, massagers up front. But you start, again, feeling around here, you've got real ash wood with the metal inlay. So on the doors as well. And I didn't show you in the back, but the back doors even have the nice wood and the inlay and the padding. And again, that's not always the case in the back, but in a luxury car like this, that should be expected. So I do like the way it is. The twin screen design, it's become a little bit trite. Hyundai Infiniti do it, Cadillac did it in the last generation Escalade. But it works out really well, actually, and everything's very intuitive, very easy to use, very easy to reach. So you can go through all the stations, nav, whatever that is. Connect your devices wirelessly through Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Also, there's a phone charger here in the console with additional USBs if you want to plug in directly. The lower screen, this is for climate controls and for the seats, for the heat and the ventilation. That's all here, secondary screen. One of their key competitors uses this screen for infotainment across the board, and I think that's kind of a nice setup, but this works as well. Works as well too. Down here, you've got the gear selectors. And again, I think it's a nice place for them, very easy to use. Heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. I like the kind of squircle design. It's very comfortable, very easy to use. But just looking around, just again, the one thing I really do like, this has the Klipsch audio system, 24 speakers. Klipsch is based in Indianapolis, nice high-end audio system. And again, everybody's used Bose, everybody's used Bauer & Wilkins, and Volvo has a lot of Harman Kardon. I think it's cool if they've tapped somebody. It's a little different sound profile, but still a very nice experience. And then if you start really looking around, you'll see it's got a heads-up display and all the crash avoidance systems. Everything you expect in a vehicle of this class. Well, the first thing I noticed about driving the QX80 compared to its competitors, it is a very big vehicle. It doesn't drive big. From behind the steering wheel, it feels more like a mid-sized vehicle, even though it is super, super capable. The next thing I noticed is it actually rides smoother. Sometimes you put big wheels on a vehicle and this has 22-inch rims on it. If you don't manage as well, you get all this sprung weight on the corners of the vehicle and you just kind of slap on bumps and become very truck-like. This is tuned really well. It has an air suspension, electronic air suspension. You can raise the vehicle up, you can lower it down for off-roading or for getting into the vehicle. But on a road like this, here in the city, it actually rides really nice, absorbs the bumps, and does a lot better. Another thing I've noticed too, on the highway, it rides very comfortably. This does have the hands-off driving system, has their ProPilot 2. So on the highway, on pre-approved roads, press the button, hands off, sit back and relax. So I think that's a nice feature for long drives. But the powertrain in this vehicle might not be quite what you expect. It used to be that you needed a big V8 engine in a truck like this. I think Ford and Lincoln proved that you don't really. So this one has a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, produces 450 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. So plenty of power for a vehicle this size. You can tow 8,500 pounds with it. Gas mileage doesn't really matter if you're towing, driving, going off-road, or whatever. 16 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway. So gas mileage is not one of the strong suits. And you might think, with the V6, maybe that's one of the pluses, but it really isn't. And this V6 is tuned to produce power and do some work. But overall, I just really like driving. I like the layout. Everything's very convenient. It's easy to get to the touch screen, the heads-up display, nice scene out of it. And it's just been a very comfortable place to spend this last week. Well, one of my good friends asked me the other day, he said, does every luxury SUV now come with a 6-figure price tag? And seemingly so. So the QX80 starts about $82,500. This one, all in, with the autograph package, $114,845. But you can also get a very nice, well-equipped Nissan Armada, which this is based on, for under $60,000. And even an Armada with everything on it, you're still kind of in that $70,000 to $80,000 price range. So if you don't want to spend $114,500, and I think when you compare this to other vehicles in that class, it's worth it. There are other options too, even within the Nissan portfolio. So next week, for another fun car. And until then, storm forward.